update that is now coming through reports that suggest that Iran seems to be secretly obtaining Chinese-made spy satellite in late 2024, which was allegedly used by the IRGC's aerospace force to monitor and target U.S. military bases across Middle East. Now, leaked Iranian military documents reportedly show that the satellite provided imagery and coordinate data of major U.S. installations, including before and after drone and missile strikes, with the arrangement also allegedly giving Iran access to commercial ground stations operated by Beijing-based Emposat that enables expanded tracking capabilities as well. This is a big development that is now coming at a time where China has been denying any links as far as Iranian military operations are also concerned. But this would also raise a question when it comes to precise strikes that Iran has been able to carry out ever since when it comes to the U.S. bases that have been hosted by the Gulf countries in the Middle East. Not just U.S. bases that have come under attack, but we are looking at civilian areas, including that of U.S. embassies and consulates as well, that have come under repeated attacks on part of the Iranian side. Now, as far as Iranian military might is concerned, which President Trump now says has been severely degraded, how were they actually managing? Lieutenant General KJS Dhillon sir is joining us here on the broadcast. Sir, good afternoon to you, Jai Hind. How do you believe that Iran was actually managing carrying such precision strikes, sir? Was it the help of China?
Good afternoon, ma'am, and good afternoon to all your viewers. Yes, if we remember, during Operation Sindoor also, China was providing real-time electronic warfare and the weapon locations of Indian side to the Pakistanis through their satellites. So China has a very good space capability. And even in this case, the war is going on between Iran, Israel, and USA. And China clandestinely was providing intelligence, as per your report, of US bases, the targets which they were engaging, and post-strike damage assessment imageries. So this is where the USA cannot directly hit a Chinese satellite or degrade a Chinese satellite, because then that would start another front. But clandestinely supporting the Iranian war efforts against the Americans is in an indirect way trying to put down the American successes. And that was expected. And it is just that it has come out in the open now and it is available to everyone.
Right.
Now,
sir.
I would like to add a point here.
Yes, sir.
The forthcoming Trump and Xi Jinping talks, which are scheduled. Trump is scheduled to visit China, and not sure whether that would go through or not. Now, this type of a selective leak prior to such a visit is also can be seen as a narrative building or a pressure tactics. So that when you negotiate with the Chinese, you give them these images and this intelligence and say you have been interfering with our operations to put Chinese on the back foot. But Chinese are past masters at, sort of straightway denying everything.
Yes, sir.
And they have the deniability factor built in. But such precision strikes and such post-strike damage assessment,
yes, sir,
I think is only possible with the Chinese space and satellite assistance.
And sir, accordingly, what is being said, as Srinjoy is also joining us here on the broadcast. Good afternoon, Srinjoy. As these reports are now coming in from late 2024. That means it was before when it comes to this Operation Epic Fury that was launched by US side, and it was even before last year's June attacks that also happened in several nuke facilities of Iran. So what is now, the maximum potential, Srinjoy, that Tehran seems to be using is because it actually knew that there are already US military bases across the Gulf and as far as its precise locations are concerned, but it seems to be making use of that information now during Operation Epic Fury.
Well, first of all, this was a Chinese satellite which Iran bought, and naturally all the information was there in the satellite. So as a result, it could use the satellite, the Chinese satellite it purchased, with all the relevant information there. So that helped, because if you want to take a picture of an American base in, let's say, Kuwait, the Chinese satellite is already programmed to take pictures of that base. So you bought the Chinese satellite a while ago, as you rightly said. So when you buy a Chinese satellite that's programmed to take pictures of X, Y, and Z, you will still continue to get pictures of X, Y, and Z. So as a result, this originally Chinese satellite purchased by the Iranians had all the information there. And as a result of that, it had the ability to strike all the places they wanted to with greater precision.
And that seems to have been applicable on part of the Iranians, even when it comes to during this 40-day war right after the ceasefire that was announced. Maybe when it comes to also the movement of US warships near the Iranian waters, their location and their precise coordinates is something that the Iranians would have possibly known via the help of the Chinese. But China for now has been denying it. But as Dylan sir has been pointing out, when it comes to Chinese pressure and tactics there, because this seems to be China now, being the very visible dragon in the room, is also now being directly challenged by the US naval blockade near the Strait of Hormuz. Let's in the meantime talk about the peace talks there, because the first round that failed, that happened in Islamabad. And now it seems both sides are ready to come on the table once